Hi everyone, welcome to Mompreneur Space live show podcast where I interview inspiring women from all around the world so that you can learn how they overcome their challenges and struggles. So I'm your host Kenneth Chu, and today I have a very special guest, and she's none other than Delby Bragais. And she's an award-winning fashion designer and image consultant, workshop leader, and the author of The Purple Pig Wears Red Lipstick. So in this episode, we will be talking about how to reinvent and design your success, and also how she overcome her challenges and struggles. So without further ado, let us welcome Delby. Hi, Delby.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Good to have you.
Fabulous to be here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time and really making it happen. It has been a while since we last saw each other. So before we start, right, there's a tradition in my show that every guest get to answer the question of the day before we can officially kickstart the show. So are you ready to receive the question of the day posted by the previous guest?
Ready.
Okay. So the question of the day will be, what would you have done differently for your business? Okay, so I repeat again. What would you have done differently for your business? Okay, spend some time to think about it, and I'll come back to you. At the meantime, I'll go onto Facebook Live and see if we are live successfully. Our audio are good to go, and maybe whoever that's coming on live, we can also say hi to them. All right, then I'll come back to you.
Sure.
Okay, good. I'm hearing you. Both of our audio are really good to go. So, do you need some more time, or you are ready with your answer?
No, I don't need more time.
Okay, so let me just repeat the question of the day again for the audience, which is the question of the day posted by the previous guest is, what would you have done differently for your business? Okay, that'll be shared with us.
Okay. So what I would have done differently for my business is I would have started my personal branding journey earlier. Why? Because I have discovered that visibility and credibility is equal to opportunity. And if you invest a little bit of yourself and your time and resources in getting yourself out there and building a personal brand, then you will definitely reap the rewards later.
Wow, that is a really awesome answer, and thank you for sharing. And I truly believe, because for the past 4 years I've been building branding, and I understand that this is very important. So thanks a lot, Delby, for sharing your awesome tip for all the moms, for the women entrepreneurs that are listening, especially for those who are starting off their business. So thank you very much, and now we can officially kickstart the show. So before we go on further, maybe you can do a short introduction of yourself. Especially for those who are seeing you for the first time. Maybe you can share with us, where are you from, and what are you currently doing, and what are you passionate about?
So hello everybody, my name is Delby Bragais. I'm from the beautiful islands of the Philippines, and I love to celebrate the intersection of creativity and commerce. So I love things related to creating, and also things related to pursuing purpose, celebrating passion, and building prosperity. So that's the thing that really gets me going. And I'm a fashion designer, and I'm also an internationally certified image consultant and personal branding coach. I have written 2 books. One is The Purple Pig Wears Red Lipstick, and the other is a book I co-wrote with several other coaches from the United States and Europe, entitled Coaching Perspectives. And we were all graduates of the coaching school that I attended. So from the time that I was a speaker at the Changemakers Summit that was hosted by Kenneth last year, and successfully participated on with a lot of women from Asia, I have developed three courses recently, all on-demand courses relating to foundational pieces of entrepreneurship for women and creatives who want to start a business. So one of the courses is a goal setting course. The second is who do you serve? So it's more of gaining clarity for the target audience. And the third is like a productivity makeover course. And so those three are in demand, and anybody from anywhere in the world with an internet connection can always go in and take the course. And also, I have had the opportunity to create another one-on-one coaching program. For me, coaching is the low-hanging fruit. And I just want to share that just in case some of you might be looking for other ways to monetize or to earn from a certain area of expertise, you might want to consider coaching, because for me it was a low hanging fruit, and it is something that's very much in demand right now and can be monetized, assuming you power it with compelling personal brand and of course credentials. And also, I believe in creating. I believe in creativity. And so recently, guess what? Kenneth, I just launched a YouTube channel.
Woo!
So you know,
Congrats.
I mean, I don't know. I was thinking, guys, let's be honest here. I've always been very straightforward, and I think it's one of the reasons why during the last Changemaker Summit there was a very strong connection I felt with our viewers. If you will ask me right now, are you 100% sure that this new YouTube channel is going to be a success? Honestly, no. I am not, but you will never know unless you try.
Yep.
So correct. So I was thinking, at first I was asking myself several questions, like, isn't the platform too saturated, especially with all of those um teens going on and doing all of those streaming? I was thinking, isn't it too late? Because I started June. So we're talking about what? Towards the second half of 2021. And then how about my bandwidth? Can I still do this while I'm doing all of my paid speaking engagements, my coaching and training? Plus, I have another book that I'm writing. So how about my bandwidth? But you know what? Like I said, life is short, and I think one of the best things we can do for ourselves is to be adventurous and to just do it.
Wow.
So
You're
that's
such
what I've been
inspirational.
about.
You're such inspirational because it had only just been 10 months and you have done so much things. Because the first time I met you, you were just published your book, and now you have done so much things, and when we catch up I was like, wow, you have doing so many things in such a short period of time of 10 months, where maybe most people are just doing one thing in these 10 months, one big thing, but you're doing a lot of amazing stuff. You come out with your own coaching program, you come out with your second book, co-author with a lot of people, and also your YouTube channel, which is, I would say, even for myself, I've done my YouTube channel, and being consistent is not easy. And like you mentioned, all the little voices I already have in my head, but I still go ahead with it. Like you mentioned, life is short.
Good.
We just have to keep on creating. And I think coming back to you being a fashion designer and now doing something that is totally different. Maybe for those who do not know your background story, maybe you can share a bit, like how and why do you transit from a fashion designer to what you are doing now, and like a fashion designer becoming a coach. So how did that happen? Maybe you can share with those who are
Okay.
curious.
I know that some people might say, are you crazy, or y- do you know, don't you know what you like, etc. But I promised myself, based on the premise that life is short, I promised myself that I would only do things that I love.
Mm.
And I found out that I love fashion. I have a passion for fashion, but then again, I ended up like an accidental speaker. And it's all like interrelated. I would be invited to speak on stages when I was still starting, and the topic was fashion, or it was dress for success. So the dress for success was like, hello, of course I can talk about dress for success. And so they were wondering, how come this person can speak like that? It's because I'm living it. So the clients that I was having are all of these high powered, inspiring, fabulous women of substance and style. So they were either CEOs of the company, they were running their own companies, they were decision makers, they were HR directors, whatever. But they were in decision making positions. So it inspired me, but it also made me realize that hey, women deserve a seat on the table. And so I transitioned into speaking. And I remember the very first time I was invited to speak, I was very naive. I didn't even know that people were paid to speak. No idea. I just wanted to help. And this was like a hotel who had a sort of like a loyalty program to all of the executive assistants that were booking the CEOs and traveling to different parts of the world in their hotel. So they said, Delbs, can you help us? So I thought I was just helping them. I didn't know that I was going to be speaking to a group of 300 executive assistants in a fabulous dinner banquet in the big ballroom. So that was my first baptism of fire. And to top it all, I was also asked by the same management to also participate in a fashion show. So doing two things at the same time, it was really the height of being naive. And I said yes, and my fashion show bombed. It
Mm.
was a disaster,
Wow.
but I received a standing ovation from all the women there. So I said, wow, wow, they listened to me. So that was the first time that I said, maybe there is a future here." And of course, later on, I found out that there's such a thing as paid speaking engagements. So that started a speaking career that morphed into leading workshops, etc. I I joined the Association of Image Consultants International on the advice of a friend, and that's a global association of image experts. The headquarters is in the US, and it has chapters globally. And so it inspired me to hone my skills, and to realize that, hey, I have monetizable skills. So they're somewhat connected, which morphed into branding. Because quite frankly, when you start doing personal branding, you are becoming the best ambassador of yourself.
Yep.
Correct? You're being the best, Kenneth. You are the best ambassador of yourself. If you cannot personify, if you cannot show in terms of your ABCs of image, your appearance, your behavior and etiquette, and your communication, that you are somebody who is worthy of either being followed or being believed, etc., then it's very difficult to sell yourself. And if you cannot sell yourself, believe me, you cannot sell anything, or you will have grave difficulty doing so. So, and then I started being asked by corporations to do mm, training programs for their teams, their leaders, their staff. So in came corporate engagements, and I've been very blessed to have had the opportunity to create all of these courses. So what I'm saying, Kenneth, is in a nutshell, the seed of all of this, whether it's fashion, whether it's speaking, whether it's designing programs for corporations, the seed is all creativity.
Yeah, I
It,
totally
it
agree with
and
you.
yeah, correct. So creativity is a transferable skill. It does not matter what industry you are from. It does not matter if you are a mother or not a mother. It doesn't matter if you are young or old. It is something that you can develop, and you can create, and you can monetize.
Yeah, and that also bring us to today's topic, which is how to reinvent and design your success, and that is also the reason why we chose this as the topic, as you mentioned, and I totally resonate with you because I graduated with a fashion design diploma, major in fashion design.
Really?
Yeah, oh, yeah, I didn't tell you about that.
I, I, I never knew, Kenneth.
Yeah, so
Wow.
that was so like 14, 15 years ago. I studied fashion design. I majored in design. I was the only guy in my design class, and my design was the only oriental design compared to my other classmates. And then I graduated. I became a sales executive for a fabric mill. So I was selling fabric to Old Navy, Baby Gap, and that's how I started. And it was a very blessed to really know how did the fabric mill works, how is our fabric being knitted and weave and all that stuff. So I'm there to really witness all that. So it gave me a lot. And then I became a baby wear designer for 4 years. So and that was
Wow.
before I was a dad. So that was a bit of history of me. That's why when I met you, I can, wow, you're a fashion designer, award winning. So it was like my dream, my childhood dream. But I totally resonate with you and agree with you on the part of, as designers, we are creative people. That's why you also title yourself as creative entrepreneur, because even you can use the same skill set from fashion
True.
designing, because fashion designing is, I would say, from zero to hero, from nothing to something, from
Correct.
nothing to a finished product. It's always the
Correct.
process of creativity and building. Even applies it to even for a child growing up. The same thing. We are treating
True.
our every design, every product. Like even for me, why I do well in advertising, media, sales, and marketing, because I have that creative. I'm thinking out of the box. I'm always finding way to solve problem, which is what entrepreneur should be. A real true blood
True.
entrepreneur is. So when you talk about that, and when you pivot into coaching, onto being creative, even starting your own YouTube channel, this makes sense. That's why the
True.
creativity lies in thinking out of the box and thinking of solutions and ways to solve problem that we are facing every day. So you did you
True.
basically sum it up, creative entrepreneur, which I have not heard of yet. So thanks a lot, Delby, for sharing. And coming back, when you talk about branding, I believe that you have heard of a lot of people asking you, there'll be branding needs time, right? I need time to build. I'm not, I need money. I need to monetize first. So what would you say to people coming to you telling you that, oh, I don't have time for branding. I need the cash immediately. What would you say to them? Especially from where you're coming from, as you teach people about branding, about positioning, about you have to sell yourself and all that stuff. So how do you
Okay.
answer them?
Okay. So I think it's very important, especially right now. We live in very challenging times. A lot of businesses are shut down. A lot of people have been laid off, etc. And so one of the basic questions you ask yourself is how long my runway is. How long can I survive without income? If the answer is I need income right now, then definitely you will need to focus on what will feed yourself and your family. So, however, this is my honest point of view. Branding can be done with a minimal amount of investment. And we're also talking about flexibility. You can work in a regular 8 to 5 job and still impute some small amount of time consistently to do your branding. It does not have to be, I'm going to write a book and then I am going to start developing my own courses and then I am going to speak in world stages so that, there's more visibility. It doesn't work that way unless you have a vast array of resources at your disposal. But if you don't, you can still take your nine to five, 8 to 5 job and still allocate 30 minutes, an hour a day to slowly build your personal brand. The important thing is you start now. There is a saying in branding, the best time to start your personal branding journey was when you didn't need it. The next best time is now.
Yeah, totally agree with that. And when you say about that time, like taking out a bit of time every day consistently to do the branding, that also reminds me of why I started this Mompreneur Space live show, my podcast, 3 years ago, and now coming on the 4th year. And because of this, I just do it every Monday, just an hour, sharing people's story, sharing how they overcome the challenges and struggle. That became like a habit. That became the source of my branding. Why would I say that? In fact, today I just shared with a friend who's starting her journey as a coach, and recently she one of her webinars, she got a troll, and that was like slamming
Oh,
her, saying that, who are
oh my.
you? Are you a relationship coach? What makes you think that you're a relationship coach? So I shared with her my own story, which is when I first started off like a man, empowering mothers to be entrepreneurs. So this random person just come and trash and ask me and a lot of questions. So that also prompt me that, hey, a lot of people do not know why am I doing what I'm doing. So that's where you talk about the branding, and then I need to start talking about it. And long story short, for the past 3 years, I've done 80 episodes interviewing people from all around the world, especially mompreneurs, and period. I don't have to justify that I'm the authority. I know the in and out of mothers running a business, women entrepreneurs, and championing women. I don't have to say that because my 80 episode,
True.
the branding has been there. So as long as I put it out, nobody can question me. If not, who will be in the right mind? Like for you, even for all the 80 mompreneurs or women entrepreneurs, why would they have agreed to be on my podcast, right? If not,
True.
I'm not
True.
real. I'm not the real deal. I'm not credible. I'm not authentic in championing women. Why would they want to come onto my show? So this is what I told my friend. I say that now it's time for you to start building your branding because nobody knows you,
True.
right? And
True.
when
True.
like Delby, you mentioned the best time is
When you didn't need it.
correct. But when you want to choose the best time, and she said, "Oh, I don't have time." I say, "When you don't have time, it will just delay your success." I would say delay your success,
True. True.
because I told
True.
her my point was when I was doing this show for 2 years. That's where the recognition, people start recognizing me. So
True.
definitely
True.
you need to put out the
I
time.
agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And I would always tell my friends or people who want to pursue a career similar to mine, I always tell them, don't look to the left, don't look to the right, just look straight ahead. Because when and always play the long game. You are not in here for the sprint.
Yep.
You are here for the long game. So it is not gonna, there's no such thing as an overnight success.
You're
Sometimes
right.
it takes you 10 years to be an overnight success. But there's one thing I want to share with your friend. And when people doubt you, or when people say, do you have any credibility to speak about this topic? When you are speaking about something that you can show the results, that there are two sources of being able to speak with authority about something. One is research. You did the research, you did the interview, you read the books, etc. But the other one is results. So if you are manifesting the results, who is going to question you? You experienced it yourself. So nobody can question you. So that's all I want to share with your
Yeah.
friends. So for those of you who are listening to this podcast and you are scared to put yourself out there, well, we all have the same feeling, especially when we were starting. But to be honest, like, creativity takes courage. You have to start. You have to start.
Yeah. I totally like what you have shared. It's like you really need to take courage, a lot of courage, and you just need to take the leap of faith. Since you are already stepping into an area that most people are not doing, why not have that bit of courage to really jump in, like what Delby has have done, like from award-winning fashion designer, and now she's starting from fresh, starting from zero, and it really needs to take a lot of courage, and a lot of perseverance, because you do not know what is
It's
uh, what is in this journey. And what
true, true.
Delby mentioned, which I think everybody can take back, is uh, do not look at this as a sprint. This is a marathon. It's all for the long term. And if you're not thinking about long term, then you can do other things. Make quick money, go and get a job, or just sell things on marketplaces. That should be the way that you want to answer your immediate needs. And maybe entrepreneurship might not be for you. Maybe other things might be for you.
Possible. Possible.
Yeah.
Not
So
everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur.
yes, and to be frank, it takes time to really tell whether are you a true blood entrepreneur. Why would I say that? Because today I just saw someone in Lincoln. She built her business for 3 years, and she folded the business recently. It was so hard pain, and she has to go back to find a job. And for 5 months she wasn't able to find a job because there's so many rejection and all that. And recently she started something that she started way earlier that didn't pick off, and now it take off. So like
Wow.
I told her, like, an entrepreneur is always an entrepreneur if it's already in your blood. So if you are, you are. If you are not, maybe you need to put in more hard work, effort, or even mentorship. So that's where Delby comes in to
True.
really guide you to build your brand, because branding take time, but
True.
branding also need that consistency, which I advocate to a lot of people. Not anybody can do podcast up to 80 episode and I'm going for my
True.
100
True.
episode. I look around me, a lot of people have died off, especially last year. A lot of people come out, wow, Facebook live podcast, less than 10 episode, I say bye bye to them. I don't see them around anymore. So branding,
True.
even podcast, whatever, if you can't do a simple thing consistently every day, don't talk about writing a book, don't talk about doing a podcast. Right? Correct,
Wow.
Delby?
Yes, you definitely are right. Consistency is key.
And it takes a lot of discipline, and it takes a lot of passion to drive that how should you put it, that purpose. Yeah, so thanks a lot.
I
That'll be anything that you want to add on.
I I just wanted to say that one of the characteristics of the people who succeed in branding or who become entrepreneurs or successful in their own right is they have grit,
Yeah.
because that one is what is going to help you stay even though you want to leave, even though you feel that you feel so down and out.
Depressed. Yeah.
Yeah, perseverance, all of those, that comes from grit. So you're willing to fight for what you like. So that's why I believe in what Kenneth said. Not everybody is really cut out to be an entrepreneur. And yeah, that's something that
Wow.
is a fact.
I like that part when you talk about grit, right? I'm having goosebumps. Why? Because I bought a book. It's called Grit. I forgotten who's the author, and she did a TED talk about grit. And you are absolutely right. Not everybody have that grit, and it's only until that last moment whether do you pull through, whether do you have like $10 in your pocket and you're thinking whether should I top up my transportation card, or should I buy a meal for myself, because that transportation might
Question.
yeah. So that would
Is
be
the author,
yeah.
sorry, is the author of the book Angela Duckworth, the author of
I,
Grit?
I I only remember the book color, but I can't remember the name. But I believe that you should know
Okay.
it well.
Yeah, but as you were saying,
Oh yeah,
you were talking about grit, about the money you have in your
correct.
pocket.
Correct. So whether you left with $10 in your pocket, whether are you topping up for that transport card that will bring you to meet your clients to close that deal, or are you going to use that to buy meal for yourself? So that to that extreme that you have nothing left, you only have $10. What was that decision? Are you going to continue running this business, running that something that you believe in? Just that maybe time now is not the best time because everybody is suffering now. So are you lifting that white flag now, or what? When? So I this is something that just came out when you talk about greed. It just bring me back to, like, I've been running my own business accidentally for the past 6 years. Every moment was that moment that I want to lift up that white flag, but it always go back to the reason why I left corporate. Yeah, that's the reason why I left corporate, because
Yeah, I guess you're talking about Simon Sinek's why.
it's very much of the, it's a lot of combination of a lot. Definitely the why. When your why is strong, and when your desire is high, and you will do whatever it takes. The perseverance. I like the part of grit. Grit is the thing that I believe that pulls me through, and and it's what I've been through in the past. So thanks Delby for sharing, and I really like the part where you talk about like you reinvent. Like for you really reinvent yourself, and then you design your own success. So why is it design your own success? Because you are a designer, you create, you design your own success. So what was that aha moment? Was there an aha moment that you decided to screw it, I just want to jump into this and just make it happen no matter what? Was there an aha moment for you?
You know what? Well, one of the moments that really led me to stare at this in the face was when we were asked in my country, the Philippines, to shut down. So
Hmm.
I have a boutique located in a creative, progressive area called BGC, Bonifacio Global City, in my country. And when we were told to close the doors because of the lockdown, so there goes all of the clothes that are under production, the wedding gowns that will not be picked up, and of course subsequently will not be paid, all of the all of the may I attend a wedding outfits, because we were into special occasion dressing. So that means all the cash flow that was coming in
Stop.
was gone.
Yeah.
Stop. So there was no cash flow, and I had to ask my staff. I mean, how many of you were intending to go back to the province, etc., because all of the single ones were being asked by their parents to go back, etc. So I was thinking, how am I going to support it? I was just lucky that my staff to begin with was very, very lean. So but when there's no cash coming in, when the brick and mortar is closed, and the cash flow is cut like that, the checks that came in, honestly, were from my executive coaching clients. I had accepted clients for coaching. And again, I was very blessed because this is again related to my fashion clients, because my fashion clients were all of these top dogs of corporations, CEOs, women of power and influence, whatever. So sometimes they would have people in their team, and the question was, Delby, can you allocate X number of days a month for you to run this program for our bank, or to just, of course there's paperwork, of course there's compliance issues, of course there's due diligence, but then again, if they know you, and they like you, and they trust you, believe me, things get a little bit smoother.
Easier.
Even for corporations.
You're
right?
right.
So the checks that were coming in were nothing from fashion, zero. But there were checks from coaching. So that was when I was starting to think that, maybe I should take this more seriously. That is not to say I did not study. Of course I did. I have coaching certifications from Center for Coaching Certification in the US, etc. But in terms of allocating my time, I was allocating more time to fashion. It wasn't a matter of whether I had the competence.
Your main core business.
Yeah, it was like where I was directing my focus. But now, obviously, there's no money in fashion. So, and I found out that there were checks that were being sent to my bank account. And I was just blessed because...
Which is your part-time gig, right?
Well, I wasn't really putting in a lot of time, but there was. And these were checks from corporations. So that one was like light bulb moment. And aside from that, that was also the time that I was very, very sure that you do not rely on only one source of income.
Yep.
And despite the fact that I did have multiple sources of income, this time it was like, hello, this is not a joke anymore. You really need more than one source of income. So this one was the inspiration to start creating all of those
different
other
products,
things, all of those, those online programs that are on demand, those coaching programs, things that you can do online and offline. And of course, there's the book, which I decided I was going to create in different formats. So every time you change the format of a book, that is another source of income. So if the book is, let us say the book is currently in a print format. Okay, this one, there's one source of income. If you put it in a KDP format, or Kindle format in Amazon, that is another source of income. I decided to create an audiobook. So I narrated it, got the sound engineer, etc., put it up on AICX and Find a Way Voices, which is another platform for audiobooks. You can distribute audiobooks globally. So that's another source of income, and plus print on demand, meaning to say they will only print when there is a demand, and this is usually available in the United States and some parts of Europe. So these are different ways, and small. It doesn't have to be big in terms of inflows, But if there's something coming in monthly, that's not so bad. I
Yeah,
mean,
it
wouldn't
has
you
to
want to have
pay
a
your
little
dues, right?
something every month? So yeah, so I think that's one of the lessons I learned recently, that let's not just rely on only one source of income.
Yeah, I like what when you start sharing. There's so many possible way that you could monetize from just one assets. Like from a book, it can be digital, it can be downloadable, it can be Kindle copy, it can be audio book, and from there you can always also spin off to a online course that people can do it themselves. So there's a lot of possibility, and that's where also lead back to why we say about reinvent, and also to design your own success, because all you need to do is just to be creative, think out of the box, not just say no to a lot of opportunities. So imagine, right, if someone like your coaching clients, they come to you, oh, there'll be can I engage you as a coach, can you do coaching and this and that. Imagine at that point of time say, oh, I'm so busy with my fashion, I have no time for coaching, I would have to reject you. What would happen if like last year it happened, the pandemic happens, and all
Oh
the brick and
wow.
mortar, you cannot imagine that. So I think what we can learn from you is that don't say no to opportunity, that it could be a side gate, it could be something that doesn't matter, but who knows that the 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 thing might flip, like what happened last year. It caught a lot of people unaware, even for myself, although I'm very digitally involved, but it's also took me a while for me to pivot. So like you mentioned, suddenly your plan A is gone, like zero income, and every month you still need to pay your bills, your rental, your staff, like all these things is still there, but you're not having the 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 main source, the plan A coming in. But thank God you have a plan B that you didn't intend to have that plan B, and it became your lifesaver. This is what, when you share that
True.
story with me, I felt that it was a life saving, and that was when you
Was, it
decided
really was.
the aha moment that you need to create a lot. And I think this is a very important lesson that could that everyone that is listening or watching, they could learn from you, is that don't stop creating, and don't stop being open to opportunity, that who knows that this could be something that you could save your life, you could save your
True.
family, even let's say you have kids, or even you have your staff that you need to feed. Who knows that you might change that whole fashion business into a coaching business, and you still can uh, rehire or hire back your staff as a whole. So as I can see, the time really flies. I really love the conversation with you, Delby. I really love your story, because your story is full of lessons, a lot of golden nuggets. And what would you say that it would be the biggest challenge of being an entrepreneur, especially you came from brick and mortar? What would you say that is the biggest challenge for you, being in the brick and mortar business, and now creating so much things online, in the creative space, and developing digital assets? What would you say that is the biggest challenge?
I think the biggest challenge in being an entrepreneur is yourself and your own mindset, because at the end of the day, I think one of our superpowers is to believe. You have to believe, because if you do not believe that you can make it, that you can grow your wings on the way down, you will not jump. So I also think that one of the superpowers of creatives is the power of imagination. So if you believe and you can imagine a future where you can find work that is fulfilling, that you love, that you can feel a sense of purpose with, that you can celebrate your passion, and you can also prosper. So what's there not to love when you have purpose, passion, and prosperity?
Wow. Well, I like the last part, prosperity, because that is what a lot of people needs now, really to have that. And also, what would be your one advice that you would give to people who want to start business? What would be your one advice for them?
Oh, simple. If you want to start a business, of course, it's important that you start. Because I see a lot of people, they do the course now, and then they will ask for advice, and then they are going to think about it, and then they don't execute. You know, any business goes through, I believe, three stages.
Mm.
You have to be able to visualize what you want. Of course, you have to know who your target audience is. Perhaps maybe that's the reason. That's why one of the courses I created was know your target audience. Who is it you serve? And then, of course, you have to know what your goals are. That's also another one I created. Goal setting, because if you don't know really where you want to go, then you can't go all over the place. But going back to the three things that are integral to any entrepreneur, anyone who wants to start a business, doesn't matter if you're young, old, mother, boy, girl. Number one, you have to visualize. Number two, you have to strategize, or you have to have a plan. And number three, you have to execute.
Mm.
So if you cannot do one of these three, then that's going to be a challenge to start or grow a business.
Wow, wow. I like that the three parts, which is one, visualize, two, strategize, and three, most important,
Execute.
execute. Yeah, a lot of people get stuck like the first and second step, but the third step, most people, I know, don't execute. They overthink, over analyze,
Overthinking,
and then get paralyzed
analyzing.
until the cow
Correct.
come home, right? So that is so important. I believe that the audience who are listening and tuning in live, they will be able to get this important thing, because I met a lot that wanted to start business, talk to me until the cow come home, until now they have not started a business.
Oh,
And it's all about taking action. A lot of people think too much,
true.
and that is where the system come from. Most of us are in the matrix. Most of us are in the system. We are trained to think. We are trained to learn. We are trained to listen, but we are not trained to do. So that's why like my podcast, why I do my podcast, so that, and it always happen. Every guest come, they will say the thing, just do it. Don't need to think, just do it, and then you will figure out. So thanks a lot, Delby, for sharing. And also, for those who are curious, how can they get connected with you? How can they reach out to you?
Sure. So, guys, as you know, let's take it from just do. So, I just did it. I just started a YouTube channel. So, just in case you would like to know more about personal branding, entrepreneurship, and creativity, do drop by and subscribe to my channel. The name is, guess what? Design Your Success with Delby. So go to YouTube, go to Design Your Success with Delby, and hit the notification bell and subscribe. However, if you want free resources, I designed something. It's a personal branding assessment, just to find out where you're at in your personal branding journey. Pick it up. It's free. So go to www.reinventu.net. So pick up your free personal branding assessment at the resources page of www.reinventu.net.
Thank you so much, Delby. Thank you for the heart, and also the free resources that is out there, that is to be able to help more people to strive, or even to start their business, or even creating their own branding. So thanks a lot for sharing. And for those who are listening and tuning in, you can always go to the description. I have included all the methods that you can get connected with Delby. It's all there, so you can check it out. If not, you can always leave a comment in the chat. So last but not least, Delby, now it's your turn for you to ask the question of the day out to the audience and also to the next guest. So what will be your question of the day?
My question for the day is, what are you creating right now?
Okay.
What are you creating right now?
Okay, so I repeat again. So what are you creating right now, right?
Yep.
Okay, so the question of the day posted by Delby is, what are you creating right now? So this question go out to the audience and going out to the next guest. So next guest, get ready because I'm going to ask you, what are you creating right now? All right. So thanks a lot, Delby, for coming on to Mompreneur Space live show, where we hope to inspire, influence, and impact individuals all around the world to start entrepreneurship. So thanks a lot. So before we wrap up, what would be your last advice for people who are sitting on the fence thinking, oh, should I start a business or should I not start a business?
You know, entrepreneurship is not for everybody, but life is short. There is a saying, you do not have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. So just do it.
Wow.
Good luck.
Wow. Thanks a lot, Delby, for that awesome. Just do it. And this is a very important advice for those who are sitting on the fence. Since you are on the fence, why not just do it? Just jump into it and take a leap of faith. You will be able to figure out the rest later. Okay, thanks a lot, Delby, for sharing, and thanks everyone for watching and listening. If you have any question, you can always reach out to me, or you can always reach out to Delby. All her contact details are there. So last but not least, I'm Kenneth here signing off with Delby. Thank you for watching and listening to Mompreneur Space live show podcast, where we interview inspiring women entrepreneurs, mompreneurs from all around the world to share with you how they overcome their challenges and struggles. So thank you, everyone, and I shall see you guys next week. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, LB.
Bye.
Bye.